let me ask you a question. Ladies, do you know that some of the touches men crave the most actually have nothing to do with sex? That's right. While the world makes it seem like men are only wired for the bedroom, the truth is the touches that melt a man's heart, that make him addicted to you, are often the little ones, the ones outside of intimacy, the ones that tell him, I see you, I choose you, and I'm connected to you. See, a lot of women think physical touch has to be sexual to get through to a man, but men are just as hungry for those subtle, affectionate gestures that make them feel wanted and safe. And here's the kicker, they won't always admit it. They'll play it cool, they'll shrug it off, but deep down, those moments stick in his memory. Imagine this, he's driving and you reach over, place your hand on his arm. He doesn't say anything, but his whole body relaxes. Or he's had a long day, and instead of trying to fix his problems, you just squeeze his hand and let him feel your presence. Those are the touches that don't just make him want you, they make him feel bonded to you. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 6 non-sexual types of physical touch that men absolutely love. These are the gestures that make him feel connected, appreciated, and yes, desired. And when you start using them in your relationship, you'll see how he lights up around you, how he looks at you differently, and how much closer you feel without saying a single word. Because here's the truth, physical touch isn't always about sex. Sometimes it's about love, reassurance, and making your man feel like the most important person in the room. And when you learn how to do that, you'll create the kind of intimacy that lasts way beyond the bedroom. You know what drives men absolutely crazy, ladies? It's not always the big, dramatic moves. It's the subtle touches, the ones that catch him off guard and melt him instantly. One of the most underrated yet deeply powerful touches you can give a man is something so simple, placing your hand on his arm or resting it on his shoulder. It sounds small, right? But trust me, the effect is anything but small. Picture this, he's telling you a story, maybe even trying to impress you with something he accomplished, and you lean in slightly, put your hand gently on his arm and look at him while he's speaking. That simple act says, I'm listening, I care, I admire you. To him, it's not just contact, it's validation, it's intimacy, it's you saying through touch what words can't always capture. And here's the sexy part, men might not admit it, but that single touch lights them up inside. It sends a message straight to his brain that you're present with him, that you're choosing to connect in that exact moment. Think about how powerful it is when someone touches you lightly while they're talking. It heightens everything, doesn't it? For men, your touch on his arm or shoulder isn't just comforting, it makes him feel grounded, wanted, and masculine. Communicates closeness without demanding anything in return. It's not sexual, but it leaves him craving more from you. And it doesn't stop there. Imagine you're walking side by side, maybe crossing the street, and you slide your hand onto his arm, holding it for a few steps. Or you're at a party, standing together in a crowd, and instead of just staying near, you let your hand rest lightly on his shoulder while you lean in to whisper something. These little touches create a bubble around the two of you. It's like saying, out of everyone here, you're the one I'm choosing to connect with right now. Now, here's where it gets even deeper. Men thrive on physical affirmation. They won't always say it, but they love being reassured through touch. When you place your hand on his arm or shoulder, it's not just physical, it's emotional reassurance. You're telling him, I've got you, I'm here. And the reason it's so sexy is because it combines intimacy with subtlety. You're not making a bold move that screams for attention. You're creating a private moment just between the two of you. And let's be honest, your touch lingers. Even after you pull your hand away, he feels it. He replays it in his mind. He remembers the warmth of your skin, the softness of your fingers, the way his body relaxed under your touch. That's why men secretly love this so much, because it's the kind of touch that stays with them long after the moment is over. So never underestimate the power of resting your hand on his arm or shoulder. It's one of the most simple, romantic, and yes, even sexy forms of non-sexual touch that makes a man feel not only desired, but deeply connected to you. Tell me something. Have you ever run your fingers through a man's hair and seen his entire body relax like you've just flipped a switch? There's something undeniably intimate, almost intoxicating about the way a woman touches a man's hair. It's romantic, it's nurturing, it's playful. And if done right, it drives him absolutely wild. Playing with his hair might seem like such a small thing, but in reality, it's a secret weapon of connection. Picture this. He's lying next to you after a long day. His guard is down, and you slowly slip your fingers into his hair, massaging his scalp, gently pulling at the strands. In that moment, you're not just touching his body, you're touching his soul. It communicates something words can't tell. I see you. I want you to feel safe with me. I want to melt into this moment with you. Men crave that softness far more than they'll ever admit. Here's the truth: a man might act tough in the world, but when a woman plays with his hair, it awakens a boyish vulnerability inside him. It reminds him that he doesn't have to be on guard with you. He can let his armor down and just feel. That contrast, the masculine man relaxing under your feminine touch, creates an emotional high he'll keep coming back for. And it's not just about comfort, it can be sensual too. Imagine you're leaning in close, your fingers slowly twisting his hair as you whisper in his ear. That gentle tug, that playful stroke, it's erotic without being overt. It's the kind of teasing intimacy that makes his imagination run wild. He'll think, God, she knows how to touch me in a way no one else does. As even in public, this little gesture has incredible power. Maybe you're sitting across from each other and you casually reach over to brush his hair back from his forehead, or you mess it up just to laugh and fix it again. That playful touch tells him you're comfortable, that you like being close, that you're not afraid to be affectionate where people can see. And men, they love that. They love when their woman shows the world she's invested, and playing with his hair is such a sweet, effortless way of doing it. The best part is how it lingers. Long after you've stopped, he'll remember how it felt. That soft, soothing touch stays with him because it connects to very powerful things: physical pleasure and emotional intimacy. It makes him crave not just your touch, but you. So when you want to make a man feel deeply seen, deeply cared for, and deeply desired, don't underestimate the magic in your fingertips. Play with his hair. Run your hands through it slowly, teasingly, lovingly, because to him, that's not just affection. That's connection. That's intimacy. And that's the kind of thing that makes a man fall harder than he ever thought possible. Imagine this for a second. You're walking down the street with him, cars rushing by, people going about their lives, and then without even saying a word, you slide your fingers into his. That simple moment of connection feels electric, doesn't it? It's not a grand gesture. It's not overtly sexual, but for a man, it can mean everything. Holding his hand in public might seem like a tiny detail, but it's one of those little things that has a massive impact, because what you're really doing in that moment is sending him a powerful message. I choose you, I'm proud of you, and I want people to know you're mine. You see, men won't always admit it, but they secretly love when a woman takes the initiative to hold their hand. It reassures them that you're not just there for the private moments behind closed doors. You're there to stand beside them for the world to see. That's huge. It touches his masculine need for belonging and significance. When you interlace your fingers with his, he feels anchored, grounded, like he's walking taller. And suddenly, he's not just a guy on a street. He's your guy on the street. There's also an emotional layer to this. Holding hands communicates safety, trust, and intimacy without saying a single word. It says, I'm with you, I trust you, I want to be close to you. And believe me, men crave that closeness far more than they'll ever let on. It makes them feel cared for, cherished, and desired in a way that words can't quite capture. And then there's the romantic side, the one that lingers in his memory. Maybe you're leaving a dinner date, and as you walk to the car, you grab his hand and give it a little squeeze. That squeeze might seem insignificant to you, but to him, it's a wave of affection he'll carry long after the night ends. Or imagine you're walking through a busy market together, and you grab his hand just to make sure you don't lose each other in the crowd. That simple act makes him feel responsible for you, protective of you, connected to you, and those feelings light him up inside. Don't forget the playful element too. Maybe you swing your hands together as you walk, or trace little circles on his palm with your thumb. It's flirty, fun, and intimate all at once. It tells him that being with you isn't just about deep emotional connection. It's also about laughter, ease, and joy. And that balance is addictive to a man. The real magic, though, is how public hand-holding makes him feel in the eyes of others. Men love knowing that when people glance at the two of you, see a woman confidently holding on to him, it's validation, it's pride, and it's a huge turn on. He may act casual about it, but inside he's glowing. So when you hold his hand in public, remember, it's not just a gesture, it's a declaration, it's intimacy without words, it's romance in its purest form. And to him, It's one of the sweetest, most unforgettable ways you can say you matter to me. Let me paint you a picture. He's standing there, maybe in the kitchen making coffee, maybe at his desk working, maybe just staring out the window lost in thought. He doesn't see you coming. And then, without a word, you slide your arms around his waist from behind and press yourself into his back. In that instant, his entire body relaxes. His lips curve into a smile. And deep down, he feels something he may never even put into words. He feels chosen. Hugging a man from behind is something different than any other kind of touch. It catches him off guard in the best way possible. Most men are used to being the initiators of physical closeness. They're used to pulling you into their arms. But when you reverse that dynamic and you're the one wrapping yourself around him, it melts him. It tells him, I want you. I need you. I feel safe enough with you to just give in to this moment. And that's powerful. There's also something very intimate about the positioning of this kind of hug, because you're not looking him in the eye, you're holding him quietly, closely, almost possessively. It's not about making a statement to the world. It's about a private connection between the two of you. It makes him feel like he's being claimed in a way that's gentle, but deeply passionate. And men love that more than they admit. Imagine you do this after he's had a stressful day. He's tense, carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. And suddenly he feels your arms slip around him, your cheek resting between his shoulder blades, your warmth pressed against him. It's like you're telling him, you don't have to carry it all alone. I'm right here. That gesture can undo hours of stress and make him feel lighter, calmer, more connected to you. But here's the sexy part, because yes, hugging him from behind isn't just nurturing. It can also be incredibly playful and sensual. The closeness of your body against his, the way your hands might slide along his chest or trace the line of his stomach, it's subtle but deeply arousing. It ignites his imagination because it's both innocent and suggestive at the same time. It says, I adore you, but I also desire you. That duality is what makes it unforgettable. And it's not just about the hug itself, it's about the memory it creates. Men will remember those little sneak attack hugs long after they happen. They'll be standing at work or driving alone and suddenly think back to that moment when you wrapped yourself around them and they felt completely wanted. That kind of memory doesn't fade. It stays with him and makes him crave you even more. So never underestimate the power of hugging him from behind. It's simple, it's spontaneous, and it's one of the most emotionally potent non-sexual touches you can give a man. It says, you're mine, you're safe. You're loved. And every time you do it, you're leaving an imprint on his heart that makes him fall deeper and deeper for you. There's something about a woman's touch on a man's face that completely disarms him. Think about it, a man can walk into the world with all his armor on, confident, composed, maybe even a little guarded. But when you place your hand gently on his cheek, trace the line of his jaw, or brush your thumb across his lips, that tough exterior melts in seconds. It's one of the most intimate, grounding touches you can give because it goes straight past the physical and dives right into the emotional. For a man, having his face touched in that soft, intentional way tells him more than words ever could. It says, I see you, I want you, I adore you in this exact moment. That's powerful because men often don't get touched like that outside of romantic relationships. They shake hands, they fist bump, maybe they hug a buddy, but very few people cradle their face, stroke their skin, and hold them with tenderness. When you do it, you stand out. You're creating a moment that feels sacred. Now picture this, he's leaning in close, maybe telling you something, and you lift your hand and let your fingertips graze his cheek. You lock eyes with him, and in that silence, he feels more connection than in hours of conversation. That's the magic of touch. It's not loud, it's not showy, but it speaks directly to his heart. Men crave that kind of intimacy even if they don't say it out loud, because it makes them feel not just desired, but deeply cared for. And here's the romantic twist. Imagine you're lying together, maybe after a long day, and you just turn his face toward you, brushing your hand along his jawline before giving him a slow kiss. That moment will replay in his mind over and over. Why? Because it makes him feel like he's not just a body to you, not just a partner in the physical sense, but someone you truly treasure. It gives him a sense of emotional safety, and that's addictive. There's also a subtle sensuality in this gesture. When you trace his lips with your thumb, when you hold his face close, you kiss him, when you cup his chin to pull him toward you, It's intimate without being explicit. It's the kind of touch that heightens the sexual tension while also layering it with tenderness. That combination of soft and sensual is what makes it unforgettable. The truth is, men love being reminded that they're more than just strong or masculine. They want to feel adored in those quiet moments too. And when you put your hand on his face, you're not only showing affection, you're giving him permission to let his guard down. That's why so many men remember those little gestures long after the big dramatic ones fade away. So the next time you're with him, don't underestimate how powerful this tiny act can be. Reach out, touch his face gently, let your fingers linger just a little longer. Because for him, that's not just touch, it's connection, it's intimacy, it's love in its purest form. There's something almost magical about the moment you rest your head on a man's chest. It's such a simple gesture that yet it carries a weight of intimacy that words could never capture. For a man, that feeling of you nestled against him, your body close, your breath sensing with his heartbeat, it's like the entire world fades away, and all that matters is the quiet, unspoken bond between you. Men love it, not just because it feels good physically, but because it communicates something far deeper trust. When you lay your head on his chest, you're telling him without saying a word, I feel safe with you. I feel comfortable enough to let go and just be. And that safety, that surrender, is intoxicating to a man. Think about it from his perspective. He's out in the world working hard, competing, carrying responsibilities, putting on a brave face. But when you place your head on his chest, he doesn't have to be strong or prove anything. You've already chosen him. It taps into his primal need to protect, because in that moment he feels like your anchor. At the same time, it also softens him because he realizes that his presence is enough to soothe you. That combination of masculine pride and emotional tenderness makes him feel deeply connected to you. And it's not just about comfort, it's incredibly romantic too. Imagine you're lying on the couch together and you just slide closer, resting your head on his chest while he wraps his arm around you. That warmth, that closeness creates a memory he won't forget. Or maybe you're lying in bed and just before falling asleep, you curl up against him, ear pressed against his heartbeat. For him, that sound isn't just a rhythm. It's a reminder that you're there, that you're his, that you've chosen to be in that vulnerable space with him. What makes this touch so powerful is how grounding it feels. It slows everything down. It's not about passion or heat or urgency. It's about presence. Men secretly crave those still moments where there's no need for words or actions, just the silent reassurance that you belong with each other. It makes him feel wanted for more than what he does or says. It makes him feel wanted simply for being. And here's the part that makes men crazy for it. Once he experiences that kind of closeness, he'll crave it more. He'll start to associate you with comfort, with peace, with home. That's the kind of connection that lasts far beyond the spark of attraction. That's the kind of intimacy that builds obsession, because he doesn't just desire you physically. He longs for the way you make him feel when you're close. So never underestimate the sweetness of resting your head on his chest. It may look like a small gesture, but to him it's monumental. It's intimacy, romance, safety, and love wrapped into one simple act. And every time you do it, you're not just lying against him, you're building a memory, a feeling that makes him fall harder for you every single time.